Hey guys, Arius here. I just want to make a quick video about how to get into DC Comics, where to start, what's up with crises, what's up with all these reboots. I just want to make things easier for people to get into DC Comics because when I got into DC Comics, I like researched stuff for 2 weeks just to see where to start and what to buy, and it was very complicated and it shouldn't be for a hobby. Honestly, you don't have to do this much homework. You shouldn't have to do this much homework to get into a hobby. So I'm just gonna explain how the chronology and the different reboots work in the DC universe, and then I'm gonna tell you um, how I started and kind of give you a little bit of advice on where you guys can start. So you should just look here for contents and just focus on this history. So you see 7 entries, and you might think that's a lot, but like only 3 of them are the reboots. So you have Golden Age and Silver Age, and I'm gonna talk about what this means a bit later. So the first reboot, which kind of ends these two universes, is Crisis on Infinite Earths. The reason it was done is was for new readers to get into comics, because it was very hard. You were getting so many characters, so many numbers of issues, that it was very hard for someone to get into it, comics. So this had a dual point to streamline the universe, make it clear for all readers, because things were getting complicated with all the different characters. You were having many contradictions, and to make it easier for new people to get in the DC universe. Um, that's pretty much why Crisis on Infinite Earths happened. Word of advice: this is the actual event which created the new universe. So Crisis did this split in the DC universe. So whatever is pre-Crisis refers to kind of this. Whatever is post-Crisis on Infinite Earths, it's pretty much whatever follows. But it's kind of this Jesus Christ moment, because in the real world you have BC, before Christ, and AD, Anno Domini, after Christ, and this is kind of the Jesus moment, how it splits the timeline. Then you see here Infinite Crisis, which is a big event, but it's not a reboot. So this is what you should know about it for now. Then the new 52 happens, and the new 52 happened because of an event Flashpoint. Again, I really don't recommend you guys jumping into that. It's very hard to understand much, but you can just jump in the new 52. It's quite easy. Again, the same thing, it reboots. It's more modern because it happened in 2011. This one happened in like the mid 80s, 85, 86. This one happened in 2011. It only lasted for 6 years, because after this one, an event called Convergence happens. DC Rebirth launches, and you can start from there, because DC Rebirth started in 2017. Um, Now, a word of advice about the numbering. So, Crisis on Infinite Earths, for example, one story people recommend starting with is Batman Year One, and when you actually like start reading it, you're gonna see it's actually Detective Comics 404 to 408 or something like that. The numbering, it didn't change with this reboot. So, for example, you have Action Comics number one or Detective Comics number one, and it goes to like 400 something. Crisis on Infinite Earths happens, the numbering continues. So you're gonna have all these big numbers, but the stories inside of it, they're gonna start fresh. They're gonna start new, with no history to these characters, basically. Um, Again, this is nothing to worry about. New 52 doesn't do the same thing. It just starts the new number. So you're gonna have Action Comics number one again, Detective Comics number one again, and so on. DC Rebirth reverses the trend again, so it adds up the numbers. So for example, you have from here to New 52, let's say 500 issues of Superman. There's more, but like presumably you have only 500. Um, and then New 52 starts another 200 until Rebirth. But Rebirth, when it starts from issue 701, because you have 500 and then another 200, it adds up to 700. The next issue is going to be 701. Even though you have, like, this is the third time things start over, you know? Oh, and I forgot to tell you about this universe. So this universe is just a name change, plain and simple. That's why I forgot about it, because it's not important. So when Rebirth came out, you'd have on the top of the comic book a banner, a blue banner, and with white letters it said Rebirth. And when it changed the name to this universe, the banner disappeared. There's no actual like story change. Um, Before we kind of move to the crises and what they are, there's Golden Age and Silver Age. They're different universes, but they're kind of intertwined. So what do I mean by that? So there's a character called Jay Garrick, and he's the Flash of Golden Age, and he has this Flash look like a costume. I mean, technically speaking, all of the other Flashes are lookalikes after him, but he's a Golden Age Flash, and he has like a pot on his head. And then we have Silver Age Flash, which is Barry Allen, which is the guy you probably know. And the first time they meet is on Flash of Two Worlds, and that kind of establishes this idea that there's a multiverse, there's multiple versions of characters. So you have that with pretty much every character. Some characters aren't like different persons; they're kind of the same person, but they have different events happening in their life. So you have Bruce Wayne is still Batman in Golden Age and Silver Age, but they're different. Um, they have a different character. They have a different personality, sort of way. But they're still Bruce Wayne. They kind of became Batman the same way. Their parents got murdered. The same thing with Superman, and so on. So when Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, it kind of streamlined this universe. So you wouldn't have two Supermans anymore. You'd have one. The Flash, the way they did Flash, they kind of did this idea. So Jay Garrick is the first Flash, and then Barry Allen is the second Flash, and then so on. Third Flash, fourth Flash, 900 Flash. Um, the crisis events, they started here, and then they see Jay Garrick and Barry Allen teaming up. They discover there's different parallel versions of Earth, and that gave rise to this idea. And all these crises, they're basically, so the heroes of Golden Age, their Golden Age versions and their Silver Age version, they team up because there's something attacking both of them, or just one of them. You know, you get this kind of idea. This is how it happens. This, and because of this, crisis became like a powerful word in the DC, but originally it meant just like Golden Age and Silver Age crossing over and doing like a team up. It was kind of a yearly event, something like that. You kind of see Earth 2 and what Earth 1. Earth 1 is Silver Age, and Earth 2 is Golden Age. That's it. That's all you should know. So, Crisis on Infinite Earths happens, and then you see 0 Hour, Crisis in Time. Crisis in Time is a partial reboot, because when you have things like Crisis on Infinite Earths, they needed to streamline the universe, because old readers complaining about the inconsistencies and contradictions, and new readers were confused about where to start, and they didn't really do that perfectly. An example, you have the character of Supergirl, and Supergirl's name is Kara Zor-El. Kara Zor-El is a Silver Age creation, so that's Earth 1. And then you have Power Girl, which is an Earth 2 creation, and that's Golden Age. And since they're the same person but a different hero, how do you do it? You kind of get the idea why this wasn't so easy to do. Like, you have decades and decades of stories, so at some point you're gonna get inconsistencies. So Presumably, even if you wouldn't get inconsistencies, there's gonna be writers coming after you streamline this universe, who are not gonna do the research or gonna confuse stuff, because there's so much stuff, or they might not even notice they're kind of making these inconsistencies or mistakes. Final Infinite Crisis and Final Crisis, these are just big events which give lasting impact. Flashpoint creates New 52, Convergence creates Rebirth, Darkness Metal, I have no idea what that's about. And then leaves us with non-related crisis events, just two. These are crises more of conscience, I'd say. Crises of the relationship between characters, like things happen which affect a large number of heroes, but it's not like a world threatening event. It's not a reboot. It's not stuff like that. It's not parallel Earths. It's usually trust between heroes rusts away. It's more relationship based. So now, where did I start? So I started post Crisis on Infinite Earths. I didn't start immediately. The first story that happens is Batman Year One. I don't like the styles of the 80s, to be honest with you guys. So what I did is I went with Nightfall Saga, which I didn't like that much, to be honest. I like the so after Nightfall Saga, there's two events that again I didn't like too much, so I kind of skipped them. And then No Man's Land, that's for Batman. And then from No Man's Land, I did Robin. I suggest No Man's Land and Robin would be a great way to get a feel of the universe. There's a lot of characters, but this is kind of the good stuff you should start with. You can start with everything after Crisis on Infinite Earths, but warning, there's gonna be a lot of, like, if you've seen a comic, a modern one, you're gonna be a bit surprised by the 80s style, I guess. New 52, as I said, starts new numbers, so you can just go into it. You don't really need too much. DC Rebirth, same thing. So yeah, that's my video. I hope I made things clearer for you. I hope I explained well enough what's a crisis, what's Golden Age, Silver Age, Earth 2 and 1, what the word crisis means, because it means kind of different things. What are the different reboots and entry points? So yeah, I hope you got what you're looking for out of this video. I hope you enjoy it. If you did, please leave a like. If you have some suggestions or you have questions or you feel I didn't answer a question you might have had, please leave a comment. Likewise, if you want to see me do something else, I'm gonna start doing comic book story arcs. I know the big events or the most important stories are covered by other people, and they do it greatly. I don't know if I'm gonna do those. Right now I just want to focus on the smaller arcs between crossovers, between big events. So that's what I'm gonna do starting tomorrow. So please, if you want to see that, please subscribe to the channel. This is Arius. I hope you guys have a good day. So hopefully I'm gonna see you. Bye.